Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to present to you and formally introduce Bob, Cos, and Arthur, the Play No Games podcast.
It's your favorite podcast. When we talk about real life and exchange a few laughs, we sticking to our path. When you find understanding, just know that will never last. We ain't here to play no games. The world is
What's
getting
poppin',
crazy,
you
and now
guys?
we know
It's
we gotta be
Portland's
the change.
most favorite dangerous podcast, the Play No Games podcast. I'm Cartier Bob,
I'm Tay Ford.
and we're back here again to give you our eargasmic episode as we close down the year. So if you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe. But the crazy thing about it is, if you really respect what we do, so we can expand and grow, Cashapp, right here. $ herobob. But before we get started, because I know none of y'all watched the previous episode, AJ is not here. And he'll be back in 2024. He might be phoning in from time to time. But the thing is, before we can get to our most favorite subject, and I hate how I said that, but it doesn't matter.
It is.
We want to talk to y'all about someone who's going to be on the show a little bit. And I think before we play no games, I think I want to introduce y'all to Mr.
Hey, who's coming on the show?
You.
Shit, I ain't get my contract yet, so I
Damn.
don't know about shit.
You didn't get that 360 in the mail?
Damn, Leor Cole. But yeah, y'all, I'm coming on the show on a more regular basis. I know I've been on the pod probably like, what, 3 times now?
3 times.
3 times now.
3 times.
But, you know, Rob approached me, and him and Kaz, they're really good dynamic as far as their communication style, and just, you know, I love talking shit, so I was like, you know, why not? So get used to see my face more on the regular, and I'm looking forward to 2024, and, you know, stay tuned.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like, I'm not going to lie. Having you on is like getting like the green and the white ranger. Like, it's like,
I see what you're putting down. Like,
I like this.
A lot of people want to get that 90s reference.
They gonna get it. They gonna get it. Like, you didn't beat me out the Megazord type shit, but it's like damn, like, who is that? He's like, Chris, all white.
Shit, yeah.
Exactly, type shit. But the thing is, you know, if you like what we're doing, please, he's definitely gonna have his own thumb and tag. We'll add it on there, but like, ease him into the show, please. As you know, always, if you talk to us, he'll talk back. So I'm going to get you familiar with one of our subjects. Now, in the words of our good friend AJ, fuck, I'm not going to lie, I do miss AJ because he be saying some shit. So welcome to the, fuck. Let's get into our very first segment. It is, what are you playing no games about? It could be serious. It could be whatever you want. AJ says it way better. We're working out the kinks. Okay. So by the end of it, it could be positive, negative, but informative. I'll start it off.
Give me an example.
And we just gonna talk about what you playing no games about. And I'm gonna start first. And you know what I'm playing no games about? I'm playing no games about. It's not a New Year's resolution. It's about purpose. I know I've said this multiple times, but I feel like people don't really understand the idea of what purpose is, because you do things when you're not motivated, when you are motivated, when you're tired, and I just feel like more in line with my purpose these days. And like, if I'm being honest with you, I'm gonna change it from playing no games about purpose, but playing no games about me. Like, I've been sleeping on myself, aka young pillowcase, because people keep sleeping on me.
Wow, that was the ad saying of the year, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. It started out strong. Do you have any thoughts? Yeah. Keep
right, let me ask you this. All right, when did you feel like you realized what your purpose was?
Ooh,
and has that changed at all? You know, from being like a young man to now, like, you're what, 40?
45.
45.
45.
Right,
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, no.
Already I see where this is going. So I'm going to be honest with you. I've always felt like I've known what I wanted to do, like at the core. Mm-hmm. I would say when I was like freshman in high school. But I would say as you get more into the world damages you, and you create different personas to protect yourself and to fit in. And each year I keep getting older, I keep realizing the more I am of myself, the more other things around me thrive. And the things that are supposed to be with me are with me, and the things that aren't. So I was kind of like, I feel like I've been more of like who I am. So here's my superpower. I say this a lot. I love strongly. And when I started life, I saw when I was showing that love to people, like it always ended up bad. And I found backdoor ways of lessening it. And then coming more forward into my 30s, understanding that some people don't deserve that magnitude of like love, but at the same time being like, I shouldn't be afraid to like be that.
I was gonna say, how do you manage that dynamic of still staying true to yourself while protecting yourself? Because when you, whether it's a friendship or a relationship, you don't want to limit your experience, or this could be, I don't know if you're dating somebody, but you could meet the woman you're really supposed to be with, but if you're not being robbed for real, her connection with you may not be what it should be. So how do you like find a balance with that stuff?
And I think I found that in this last like 3 months, where the situation goes south, north, west, east, I want to go down with the Titanic ship how I want to go down, where I'm playing the music or I'm going to be on a doorknob or on a door. And like, I just been okay with that. And I feel like that's me. Like that's.
Yeah, no, I feel you, bro. I feel like I'm of a like mind with certain stuff when it comes to that type of subject matter. For me, as long as I'm staying true to myself and who I am as a man, I can live with the results. And I think a lot of people, especially, I hate to like always bring it back to like relationships and stuff.
Oh, that's
that's what we hear, but like, but I feel like a lot of people, honestly, they'll have a bad relationship when they 17 or in their early 20s, and it's just like, fuck man, fuck women, like I can't deal with nobody, bro. It's part of the human experience. People are gonna do you wrong. You're gonna, hopefully, depending on who you are, meet the love of your life. You're gonna have your highs, you're gonna have your lows, but you gotta live life and live it to its fullest. You don't want to withhold back anything in a sense. You know what I mean?
I like how you said that the human experience. I feel like people overcorrect when they're hurt because they're like, I'll never want to be hurt again. And if we overcorrect, we lose the human experience of like, ooh. Or my favorite quote I like to say, everyone experiences pain, but we choose to suffer. Some of our greatest masterpieces comes from when people are in pain. It's kind of like you can't stay in that emotion. So, I want to kick it to you. What do you play no games about?
I play no games about, and I'm just freestyling this right now. But one thing I do not play no games about is loyalty.
Oh.
And when I say that, that can come in the form of, a friendship, your family, anything you stand on, whether it's a fraternity, if you have some different affiliations, whatever it be. But, when it comes to loyalty, I don't play no games about that at all, because the people in my life who are around me and like in my close inner circle, they'll tell you, and I'm not just saying this, if I love you and I got love for you, I'll give you literally the shirt. I didn't gave the shirt off my back for my mans because he didn't have a fit to step out. It's like type shit. And like,
okay,
when somebody I know, if I have it in my means, if I fuck with you, I'm gonna go to 10 for you. So with that, though, and Free the Wave, one of my favorite rappers, Sue Surf, I remember he said something. I was on the IG live with him one time. He said this shit. How do you phrase it? If you don't got me how I got you, don't tell me you got me. And like, really, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but like, if you're not gonna take it to where I'm gonna take it, don't tell me you got me, or I got you forever, and type of verbiage. Because if you fold on me, I'm not sound vindictive or
damn.
I was gonna fuck you forever because I like.
Damn! Wow. Hey man,
but that's also that's also why I say I think a lot of people in town, we get this stuff misconstrued as well. I have a very limited number of friends. I have a lot of acquaintances.
Yeah.
And niggas, just because you grew up in Northeast together, you went to SCI together, and niggas not your mans. And I've seen too many people get backdoored, do some funny business over some money. She dealing with her nigga on the side, and I know XYZ, but it's like, bro, y'all really don't fuck with each other. We're just in this ecosystem that we have relational experiences because the city's only 20 miles.
So what size is your shirt?
My size, nigga.
You say you gonna give me a shirt off your back? You got me? I'm a large.
You got a shirt on though.
Hey,
my man's didn't have a fit.
Hey man, you know I need a muscle shirt so I can show them.
You need a muscle shirt.
Yeah, you know I gotta show them I'm out there.
There you go, right there. See.
No, I need to. What size? But anywho, I know I would say for me, when it came to like friendship, I learned about loyalty maybe about like 5 years ago, where I learned Jesus Christ. See, they do look at them.
Wow. And
I'm a medium.
Oh God.
It's a lot going on right now.
It took them 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It took them 10 minutes. You know, sometimes when we pause, because they doing that shit. Anyway. Anyway, but we love them. That's the backseat critics. One of the things when you said that, one of the things that makes me like really bring up is like 5 years ago, I learned a lot about loyalty when it comes to like relationships with men, where it's kind of like, this may be a hot take, but this is just like, it's almost kind of like with my job. I would say good things, contradict each other because you have to like take everything with a grain of salt, because two things can be true at once. So I think sometimes men take breakups with other men, like friendships, equally or harder when it comes to a woman sometimes, because the reason why I say that is like, just think about like you're saying with the town stuff, where like if you've been rolling with someone heavy and then boom, you turn 27, you go the opposite ways. Yeah. It's just like, how do you work through that?
Now, I'm going to push back on that a little. Yeah. Do you mean, because I mean, people grow apart, but like I have friendships, dudes who I still consider like my brother, who we just don't rock with each other on a day-to-day basis anymore. So no, I'd be lying if I say we're close friends still, but it's always gonna be those ties. So you mean people who kind of just drift apart because changes in like hobbies and interests, or y'all really had a falling out and I just don't fuck with this nigga no more?
I would say it's like the latter of the two, where it's kind of like I'm not gonna use this as a segue for us to talk about topics, but like it gets into like the like hip hop the hip hop beats. I was like beeps. Exactly. But like it gets into like, because we like, you were just talking about brotherhood, right? Where like people just can't let shit go, like especially for business, where it's kind of like, what a lot of people don't understand about me is like, I could not like you and we can get some bread together. Yeah. And it's kind of like, and the reason why y'all ain't fucking with each other is because over some like a game of jacks that you lost and that nigga cheated. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I hope it wouldn't be something as simple as that, but yeah, and I get what you mean.
But you see what I'm saying?
It happens a lot, though.
It does. Yeah. That's why I'm just kind of like, but when you look at, when it's sometimes with they chick, they be like, you did that. You went around the corner a few times. I can forgive that. Yeah. So, like, I know it's a, like, super hot take, but I was, like, just thinking about it, like, how much beef we have between men.
It is a lot, and it's, like, a lot of subtle tension as well. I hate that it is this way. I feel like a lot of tension I've had with other men has been over women, whether it's all right.
So you're a heartbreaker?
No, not even. It's just we could have a mutual third party that we both know, and somebody just feeling a certain type of way.
Oh, okay. So you the future of the group now.
See, you dragging it. You dragging it like a motherfucker.
Koss, he talked to one girl one time. I don't know about what
as do I. I'm a God-fearing man.
I just be doing stuff. I am respectful.
You give me Donnell Jones type of vibe.
Hey, I fuck with that. Hey. Ooh, okay.
That was very toxic, man, though.
Oh.
See, that's how I know, we can segue into music. This is how I know people don't really be listening to lyrics, because the way you just said, I'm the future of the group. Donnell Jones' Where I Want to Be album is literally the Bible for every toxic R&B album that you could think of today. Okay. Like, just think about that song, Where I Want to Be.
Can I be Tevin Campbell now?
I almost made a very sick joke, but...
Hey, man, he owned Disney, bro. Yeah. Come on, right? He owned Disney. You can't hold him. Yeah. But really quick, because I definitely, I keep saying it, but I actually think this is almost is going to be an excellent segue into our first topic. But I'm just curious, Because you had a point. I was just fucking with you. Finish your point when it's talking about just like men and loyalty, and then I'll set you up for that segue.
Yeah. Just to kind of give a quick summation about everything, loyalty, it can look different ways. Loyalty can even be protecting your partner from certain stuff. Having early conversations like, oh yeah, I used to deal with old dude XYZ, or not putting yourself in certain spaces. If you are a man, you're going out in club and it's somebody here that your girl don't really rock with. Like, no, I'm not gonna be in the camera picture. Her taking the selfie. It's just like the opposite could look crazy, or just taking it to like in a brotherhood form. My man's need help moving. He doesn't need to hit me to say, hey, Tay, are you available? No, I'm gonna call him, say, hey, bro, what time you moving? If I got it in my time to make it happen, I'm gonna pull up, no question.
Yeah.
So like even when I was in college, I remember my freshman year, my boy Kim, I think it was me, Kim, Torin, and maybe like one other dude. School campus shut down because fall break. We ain't got no bread. We had to put up $5 here, $5 there, just to like make something shake as far as like food, because the cafeteria was closed. So it's like that type of stuff that really will like carry relationships way further than y'all just like in the club popping it and it's 5 heads on a bottle because y'all ain't got no. I mean, never mind.
We got a high roller on the show now, y'all. We got a high roller over here. I want to make this like very, very quick. This kind of reminds me when I was at Rose Church. Shout out to Rose Church. What do you call it? The service was talking about, and Andrew was really talking about, we're so adult now, where like it's ego of you, like a version of it, right? Because we got to take everything with a grain of salt because everything matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh, I'm not feeling good. These people should be calling and check up on me, right? Like, why aren't you reaching out? And like, it's a circular thing where like, when you said that reminded me where it's kind of like, oh, I know my friend is moving. Like, either I'm going to let them know that I can't do that or whatever, because like small, short story where like literally last week I had one of my good friends call me just out of the blue. It was like, oh, I need your help. And I was like, nah, I'm at a comedy show. Can't come. You know who I'm talking to, but it's like, it's just like that brotherhood of like, how can we still help each other, like do what we can, where it's kind of like not having that ego of like, how do you know someone can't help you if you don't call when you're in need?
That's fair too.
Which leads us into brotherhood, and us brothers have made a lot of this music popping. So
I'll introduce this topic. So for those of y'all who may have some qualms or issues with Joe Budden as a person, I completely understand that given his past. But this past week or so, he did have a podcast episode where him and one of his co-hosts, I believe it was Ice, they were talking about NBA YoungBoy. He's a pretty high rapper from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Been popping on the scene probably about like 7-ish years or so. I was kind of abreast him a little bit earlier, just being in Louisiana for college. But I can't remember even the context of the conversation, but Joe went in a run where he was basically just saying NBA is trash. And then Ice responded to that as well, saying he feels as though NBA's content and the quality of his music has kind of stalled the last few years with him being on house arrest. And then Joe kind of expounded upon that, just saying, he's not that great of a technical rapper, and y'all just letting anybody in the industry kind of just feed bullshit into our ecosystem of the rap culture, or the culture in general. But because he has a strong fan base that people kind of gravitate towards him. But then he also kind of touched on how he feels as though he didn't outright call NBA YoungBoy a industry plant, but he was kind of saying how it's funny how some of NBA's, and I've said the same thing at times, NBA's YouTube metrics don't necessarily add up to his numbers that he does in terms of his first week sales or how his albums perform in a general sense. Obviously, he's been on house arrest and dealing with other legal stuff. He hasn't been able to tour like that, so you can't really see how that translates in ticket sales at a venue or the type of like venue he'll be able to sell out. But with that, there was a back and forth between the two of them. NBA responded with some less than pleasant words, So I think they probably spoke on the phone, but today Joe actually apologized. Yeah, kind of a brief apology. He didn't really go into in depth. He was like, I shouldn't have violated that man like that. He has his fan base, and maybe it just isn't for me. But it got to me thinking how much of a divide there is in the consumers across age generations, and also just what your preference is. Because I hear a lot of people, especially when it comes to like male R&B today, say like, nobody's making good music. This shit's all trash, or it kills me when I actually should use this for some shit I play no games about. Motherfuckers that was born in the year like 2005 saying, "Oh, I missed the '90s." You weren't live. If I pulled out a Walkman, you probably would think it was a Dell computer.
Hey, you're just hating.
That's not hating. That's dicky.
90s lifestyle was underrated.
It was, but you were alive for it, so I can understand that. Somebody that was born in 07 wouldn't like. They don't even
look here. Now you just wilding. You just shout out Joe Budden, NBA Youngboy. Now the 90s is this you versus the world. Calm down. It's okay. You're good people.
I am. I try to be.
Exactly. You just not. Who else is on your shit list? We know you out here for revenge.
Nah, I really ain't got nobody on my shit list right now.
Mm-hmm. So. One of the things, because I actually too, I appreciate that you're breaking it down, and like I guess to like kind of even like steer where we're like going with this, where it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna cap, because like a lot of what we do on the show is like bridging gaps, and even if you agree disagree, that's important. But like NBA Youngboy, I think I only got one song of him, and it's like with like another feature artist, and like with 2 Chainz. And like, there's like a 2 Chainz song in NBA Youngboy, and like he does his thing on the song, but it's almost kind of like, I agree with you. He's not for my generation, and like, don't be wrong, when it comes to like gangster rap, I'm a big Jeezy fan. I'm well, Nas is a gangster for some of the things he did do, but it's almost kind of like in my mindset, or T Greasy, like that gets me going. But like some of the stuff I'm hearing with him, like, even as like an NBA, not an NBA fan, I can tell the difference from music I've like brushed up and caught up with him being on the scene and then him being on house arrest. And I think people can see that difference, why they're saying like this is an industry plant, right? Mm. And I think where the part where Joe Budden messed up is where it's kind of like, I think before you critique anyone, it's not perfect. You always got to acknowledge they did do some shit. Mm. And I think sometimes where people get upset with Joe Budden is kind of like, he just there's no like, he just sprays and there's no nozzle.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for him, artists tend to take it a little bit more personally, just because if it's say like somebody like you or myself, or let's just say DJ Academics, whoever it is, while their inherent rebuttal will be, well, you've never done this, so you don't know what it's like. Mm. Joe actually has a career that people can then quantify and say, oh no, when you put out your album, this is what it did. Or, I mean, hell, if I ask, never mind. No, ask who? Right. If I put a gun to your head right now and I told you to name me 3 Joe Budden songs,
I got you. Pump it up.
Yeah.
And then after that,
and I've heard some of Joe's like tapes and stuff, just because like I'm a music savant. Like, I love music, but I'd be lying if I said I can name individual songs just off the top of my head.
And that's where I get upset with the Joe Buddens or the Charlemagnes, where like, I think at times musical artists take themselves too seriously. Where like, if you're getting interviewed and like with the Funny Marco stuff, he's there to troll you. Instead of like, I can't believe he asked me about this. Lean into it, like just be fun. Like people like that shit, but it's almost kind of like, Drake could have done this. Like, to be honest with you, like Drake's The Scary Hours Part 2 that he dropped, 3 or my bad 3. That was what I asked for. The album was like cool. It was like whatever. But it's almost kind of like we can't acknowledge that this man just Beat It in Thriller, bro. Like, you can like, and I think Koss said it best on the show, where it's kind of like, he's changed my mind. Spotify Raps, like, why we have to? this is your taste. Like it doesn't. So it's kind of like it gets into the point of like, I'll just end with this. It's so hard to be an honest critique of things because like people lose the nuance of like, yeah, I'm critiquing this, but also once again, also I say two things can be true at the same time. You could be working, you got to do better with this, but I also acknowledge that you are killing over here.
And one thing, just to piggyback off of that I think people lose sight of, not everything has to be for you.
Oh!
I'm trying to think of an artist right now that I like. I don't really rock with too tough, but I know they make good music. All right. Rock with most of his catalog. The Weeknd's last album really, it wasn't necessarily suiting my palate. Most of my friends, though, I know they rocked with it heavy. It did the numbers it was supposed to. That's a win for him. I'm not going to take that away from him.
Even what we're going. Wrong album.
Even with Drake's most recent album, For All the Dogs, probably, and I've warmed up to it a little bit, but probably,
Thank you.
But probably, even before the Scary Hours 3 release, but like, it felt lazy to me in a sense.
Really?
Yeah, and very monotonous as far as like the subject matter and content. But you know, I understand with Drake being Drake, he has a wide audience that he has to serve. I mean, I know you said you want the more rapidy like Scary Hours 3 type tracks. If he has a whole project like that, he'll have a whole pocket of his fan base who wants Drew Picasso or Jaded Part 2. You know, I know he hasn't come out with that song, but like something like Jaded, or he doesn't have a smash hit single like Rich Baby Daddy or whatever have you.
Slaps.
Yeah, or a crossover song that he can do with Bad Bunny. So like he has a lot of people he has to appeal to. And I think that's why we'll never get a true just like straight rapping or straight R&B album from him.
And I think that's what people have to say about Drake. It's like the context, but even bring it back to YoungBoy, where it's kind of like I have younger nephews who like I could
look at him like God.
Like I'm like, like you're.
I ain't gonna lie though, you I know you may have heard it in Nevada. Like you had to like give that a second listen.
Okay,
bro, like that's he was up there levitating when he made that.
Okay, and one of the things that I think we got to add into, which I think will kind of let into the Joe Budden apology, is like it just goes back to like we were just talking about errors and pockets of music, right? Whereas like I think adding the mental health factor to it, once again, check out the last episode, we talk about P. Diddy and all that bullshit, but it's almost kind of like the people who are setting the groundwork for us to listen to music now really wasn't focused on their mental health. Whereas kind of like now that's such a big thing with artists. Artists talk, I'm not doing tour because of mental health break. Do you think that was going on for the Jackson 5s?
Hell no.
They said, beat it. Do the thing.
Rain, sleet, or snow.
Exactly. Tina, we doing it. So it's kind of like, I think for the YoungBoy fans, they just have to understand like, yeah, you can have so much money, but like you can just be on your compound and on a piece of land for so long. Like, where are you going to draw inspiration from? Artistry comes from, experiencing things, doing stuff.
For sure.
So I think that's one of the things I think Budden should have took in perspective from at least from what I watched and from what I understood from what's going on.
Yeah, and honestly, with him being someone who's always so pro artist, especially when it comes to like contractual language and artists getting their money and their flowers, I think that is something that he did kind of miss the mark on. So that's a pretty good point you brought up there.
Oh no, and I think for me, I have for this part, it was like I think the same thing when I come in here, where like I know I'm not perfect. I think more of my critique holds weight in the relationship department, but it's like I always see myself as like forever student of stuff, where it's kind of like I think sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, people take this shit too seriously, where it's like there are some times where I've sat here and Koss had a better relationship take or AJ had a better relationship take, and I'm like, oh, that's something I can take in, like that's dope, because at the end of the day you're helping someone, where it's kind of like that's why I was laughing so much with Koss's thing about Spotify, where like you're listening to 90,000 minutes of music, and it's kind of like, what are you doing with that? Like you're diverse. You have a spot. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It was like, I think the content that I don't know. I just want entertainment to take itself less serious. That's all.
I don't know if we'll ever get to that space now, but it'd be ideal.
Hey, we're going to do this on the show because, like, we're serious about this, but, like, also, like,
Having conversations.
we're having a conversation. And, like, for me, like, the weird thing about it is, because I keep saying this, I want this to be documented. We could all make enough money. Like, it's like, I could never just be swallowed. Like, this is ignorant. It'd be less fun.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But, we're going to segue into a commercial. It's the holidays. Fellas, I know you confused. What are you going to get your girl? I know what you're going to get your girl. You're going to get them a mani-pedi coupon from Capital Nails. Capital Nails is one of the most hospitable, homegrown, family-owned nail spots in Portland. Now, how do I know this? One, because I got the experience. I'm not going to lie. Hey, don't judge me. Don't put me in a box. I got a pedicure, and it was delicious. But what was more delicious was the tender care that was done and the service and the people that are there. So, fellas, ladies, or however you identify, if you're looking for a place where you can get your nails done, get the holidays popping, and so you can be jingle belling on them toes, I would say Capital Nails. And tell them the Play No Games podcast sent you. So, we're going to get back to the show. Hey. So, I got something for you, my man.
All right, talk to me, bro.
This was crazy. I'm about to pull it up. We're unprofessional. We can have our phones up. Here we go. So, I gotta ask the backseat critic something.
I'm the fact dragon.
Ow! Who took off their shirt? RJ. Okay, take it off your shirt. This is on camera. Why did you take off your shirt?
Because we were talking about shirt sizes.
My name's Rob.
Wow. You're wow.
I'm a mix of medium and large. I'm tall and I'm thin. Some mediums fit me like a midriff.
I did say that.
Fit me like a tent. I gotta figure it out.
So actually, no, he actually had more of a cause for me to give him my shirt because, like I said with my friend, he didn't have a shirt, so he was in need. You have a shirt on, so it really didn't make sense.
Before I start this next segment, he's always shy. Never mind. Never mind. This is interesting. You're showing out. He's never like this. He must like you. Anywho.
Wow.
Watch out.
Bro. Come on, G.
Yeah. Welcome to the team. But to talk about something tad bit serious because this did shock the shit out of me. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm still figuring out like how to put other videos in so I don't get copyright struck. But I think I could take videos more from TikTok. But this one came from YouTube. But this is from the O'Shea Duke Jackson show. Sometimes I listen, but there's this young TikTok black woman, and she was talking about growing up in one of those white areas, and she talked about how she let her white boyfriend call her a slave and the N-word. And now hopefully I'll get good enough to kind of put what she was talking about, but it was like a 30-second like thing of like this young African-American girl talking about how her self-esteem was so low and how she wanted to be accepted so much that she would allow that to happen. And then come to find out, she found out that the person only dated her out of pity, and it was like an inside joke for her friends. And it was just like crazy to like.
All right, so I have a lot of questions now. All right, so, and you may or may not know these answers, so you got it off for TikTok. One, roughly how old was this person?
She looked like 23, 22.
Oh, so there's a woman. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's a
there's
young
grown-
woman. Young woman.
Okay.
This is not a young adult.
Yeah.
This is not.
Yeah.
I don't think she's like a high schooler, but I think she was like doing like a makeup tutorial. But
Okay.
she was just like free going and like talking
about the experience.
self-esteem
Yep.
and things like that.
Okay. Secondly, may or may not know this as well. I'm not trying to generalize anybody here. Did she grow up in a household with black parents?
I don't think that was.
I know you
not
said you
covered.
grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood.
That's what she was saying.
Okay. Cause I ain't gonna hold you. Ain't no way in hell, boy. Like
I think the thing that caught my eye the most is like, one, I applaud her strength.
yeah.
For saying and admitting something like that, but also I kind of look like I don't want to say look down upon her. I think I just get sad because that's what happens to like a lot of people when they're in need.
Yeah.
So I think the topic I really want to bring up is obviously still keeping it on her, and then like where it's kind of like when we need stuff, why do we go to those types of degrees and levels to search out things?
And me laughing now, I hope you don't take that as me laughing at her experience.
Yeah.
I'm laughing like I couldn't even imagine.
Oh, no.
Like somebody fixing their lips to nah.
She was saying like the guy was saying like, oh, hey, slave baby, and all the other stuff, where it's kind of like, I wish my niece would say something like that to me. We gonna roll up to Roosevelt in all types of ways, you know. But you know, like there's multiple ways we can take this, but you know, I don't want to totally like, because I said a lot to you, but like, what are like, what's coming up mostly for you?
My immediate reaction is this. I hope that she knows as a black woman that she is loved and supported by people who appreciate her for her blackness. Based off like what you were describing, it sounds as though there was a lot of tokenizing going amongst that friend group and just like her community in general. I hope she is able to find communities somewhere else, even if it's just one other person that appreciates her as a person and not just this, for lack of better words, like slave or like, no, it's just black girl, like in my city or whatever have you. I completely abhor like any type of prejudices that people may have, especially when it comes to that type of dynamic, just given the history of this country. He's really a clown, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like the more and more of the kind of like talk about it, it's like the more and more like it's like I feel like we're getting so like numb to this stuff where it's like you hear about like, because like I even go into like bullying for my, you know, what happened to like me and things like that, where like, you know, I think I don't know. No, I'm not even gonna go that. I'm not gonna go that way. I'll just say this because I want to keep it on her. Because I agree with you. Yes, I just hope that she knows now that that was that person's ignorance and maltreatment, and how she won't hold it against loving people again, because that's like a scar. Because just think about our worst scars, and like sometimes how when we're unhealed, we hold that against people.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I think that's more or less what I think about her, because because there's another point I want to take it, but like, you know, it makes me kind of just like real sad.
I hope she is able to, whether it be talking with a counselor or a therapist or whatever have you, actually unpack that, because I know it can be scary getting out into the dating scene, and for that to be your experience, you know, like you said, she could carry that trauma or get to a point where she's like, okay, maybe I don't want to date people outside of my race in fear that I'm gonna have to deal with something like this. So.
And I think the reason why I really want to talk about that, one, was for that woman, but also two is like, it's just sad that we're at a point where like when we feel that low about ourselves, or we seek validation anywhere. So it kind of makes me think, and I even speaking on myself, where it's kind of like, man, thinking of times where like I was at my lowest, but like I just sometimes like I didn't think it can get that low for people, man. Like even my lowest, I still had a sense of like ego and pride. So it makes me kind of think like, how do people like get there?
Yeah.
Because like, could you even imagine like subjecting yourself to not to something like that?
No, but like you said, you don't know the crosses that different people have to carry.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, you may just be looking for love and wherever it may come from, and it can look differently to people. Also, who knows what challenge she may have went through at an earlier age, whether it be within her own household or just in her community in general, where this may just be the one person in her life where she feels she gets any type of reciprocated affection, and that may just unfortunately come with that type of BS, and that may have just been enough for her at that time. I'm glad that that it sounds like that relationship was severed, and now she does find error in the way that he was speaking to her, because it is disgusting, truthfully.
It makes me kind of think. I'm trying to think of the comedian that passed. Like he was before his time. He's like very like raunchy comedian. Oh my gosh, Fact Dragon. It's not Bernie Mac.
Comedian.
He had like a radio show. He was overweight. Patrice O'Neal. Like I know a lot of people could could see some of his like stuff as misogynistic and things like that, but I was listening to like one of his like radio segments, and because they do a lot of like relationship bits and things like that, because there's some truth in what homeboy's saying, but like he was talking about you gotta love someone, but you also have to be strong enough to leave that person at any time, meaning like you have a standard where like I think people misconstrue that so much of like, I love you so much to stay to work on stuff with you, but I also love myself enough not to torment and subject myself to bullshit. Mm-hmm. And I think people have a hard time figuring out what stuff you tolerate and stuff you don't.
And what I see being the root causes of that? How much in our culture we have we almost give like a star of approval for using the term "I'm a ride or die." Like, no, there should be like a limit to certain stuff you're willing to deal with in any type of relationship, whether it be like romantic, platonic, even with family. I'm sure that everybody got that one side. Never mind.
It's my dad's side.
So everybody. But yeah, no, there's a limit to what you should be willing to tolerate or even accept, as long as the conversation's had. And at that point, if they still trying to violate, then it just is what it is.
Ooh, okay, organic topic. I think this is a perfect way to ease on out to the show.
Okay, shoot it.
What do you think is tolerable in a relationship, and what do you think is leave worthy?
See, that's like a very nuanced question, bro, because like every relationship, and you mean like in a romantic relationship, I'm assuming?
I was like romantic. We'll go there.
Okay, and see, like every like relationship I've had is different, and depending on what that relationship looks like, truthfully, you can get different answers. Like I know a lot of people say, and I'm not speaking from experience because this never happened with my parents, but even talking to them when they've talked about different stuff in terms of sometimes your girl, she may hit you up, you may spend 3 hours doing some other stuff, not get back to her. It's small stuff you be tripping about in your early 20s that when you married really don't matter. Mm-hmm. Or when I see celebrity news of, such and such got caught, cheating or whatever have you, it's real easier to walk away when you're just friends at the end of the day, truthfully, because until you sign the papers and your tax code changes, you're single. I mean, for real, like, that's something I always try to tell people, a boyfriend, girlfriend relationship or whatever that may look like, that's just a verbal agreement you have. Until some paperwork is signed, we're just friends. Truthfully.
I think we got the clip, guys.
No, I mean, like, this guy. No, you're choosing to be in a committed monogamous relationship, but there's no real ramifications that come from this if you don't.
So you trying to be on that arranged marriage Indian lifestyle?
Not at all.
Where they're like, no, Indian culture. Cause hey, shout out to Akash. You said you're gonna watch the fucking podcast. Hopefully you're watching it. You did a great comedy set last week, but like, it was just like being like enmeshed in like that kind of culture where like literally the person was saying at the show where like Indian parents are like, what's a boyfriend and girlfriend? Like it's either you're married or you're not.
I mean,
you know?
Okay, all right, here. Last relationship you had.
Huh?
Well, all right, we'll just pull up one. Or
Okay.
bro, let me ask you something real quick.
Yeah, bring him in.
Fact check. All right, are you in a relationship right now? No. When was the last time you were in one?
5 months ago.
5 months ago. Okay. When you guys agreed to be together, was exclusivity actually brought up?
No.
It's a lot of assumptions that people have.
Okay.
So like with that, I don't know. Like when you ask me a question, what I'm willing to tolerate, it depends on like the.
You got your clip.
I did get the clip.
No, it's a status of what our relationship is, and like the place I'm in life, the place she may be in life. I think respect more than anything has to be maintained. Protect me, and that can look different in a lot of different ways. If I feel as though you violated me, whether it be my character or if you're moving in a way that isn't healthy for my lifestyle, then I will have to cut you off, because as much as I may love you, I have to love me more.
No, I like that. I think for me, as a 30 and over type of a person, I think one thing for me, what I'm always willing to work with to a certain degree is people's traumas. Like, because sometimes you never know. Where like obviously there's like 2 to 3 traumas, but like people are traumatized a lot. I'm willing to compromise a lot to help someone grow, and how can I say this? Work through and support them. But like I'm not gonna do the work for them. But one of the things I actually won't tolerate, and I think I will leave a person for, is not supporting my dreams. Meaning, I'm not trying to say you have to work for the business, do the business, but like a person
go get tight water when he needs it every once in a while. No, I'm playing.
That's the last time a nigga gonna get water in this establishment.
But
it's just kind of like being and sitting with like different, I'll say this, partners where it's kind of like, I actually kind of feel like when people aren't cheering as hard, equally or harder for you when you succeed, they're competing with you.
Yeah, I definitely get that.
And it's kind of like, I ain't never once in my life been like, oh, like there should be the only time you should be competing with your partner is when it's a war of generosity. Like, I want to show you how much I care. I know your whole schedule, or things like this, and vice versa. You know my whole schedule, so we're taking care of each other. And I think people just like being like laissez-faire, like, oh, you're just doing this job. I'm doing this job for a reason.
Yeah, no, it's something I'm passionate about.
Exactly. That's why people, you need to do what you're passionate about, because if you get to really see how a person's go. If you mopping the floors and that's what the fuck you love to do, and they're just kind of like, all right, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's real as hell, because honestly, whoever I'm dealing with, I do need them to be my biggest cheerleader and vice versa. So Now, it's funny you talk about traumas as well. I think we getting older, so everybody's going to deal with an effed up relationship or two in their younger years. If I, like, first time hang out with a woman, or, second or third time we're going on a date, if she brings up, like, she has, like a vast history of being cheated on, or, just whatever have you, I gotta go. Because I know you said you wanted to do the work.
I said some. I didn't say some.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be having you look over my shoulder at 4 p.m. in the afternoon because of Dante, who broke your heart when you was 23. Like, bro, like, I'm just going to the gym. I promise you. Like, So get this. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm so glad you said that. So
I am not, at least on this show, just gonna say the traumas I'm not willing to deal with. But it's just kind of like we gotta fight the narrative of people saying that I have to be fully healed to do stuff. Sometimes you're gonna be broken doing stuff. And the thing is like, for me at least, I can work with the person who has, or I can compromise with the person who's been cheated on multiple times if that person's doing the work on their own. Where it's kind of like that, the cheating stuff that happened to them,
Yeah.
that's never gonna go away from them. But like, if you are able to call them out and be like, hey, you did that, that was a lot, and then they don't grow from that,
Yeah.
then we have a problem.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm not saying this. I hope nobody in the audience feels this way. Like I'm like speaking from a holier than thou type of like plateau. Because I have stuff I still deal with that I'm working through. Those are just like my boundaries as far as what I'm going to deal with. There are other traumas that people have that, you know.
Backseat critics, we got a mystery. Was Saul?
What traumas that I'm dealing with?
No, you said that you reformed, huh?
All right. Here,
I'm just playing with you.
Bro,
Hey, I'm reformed too.
You gonna have these people think I'm a terrible person,
Bro, look at close up on him. Look at this face. Look at this face. Hey, he's a heartbreaker
Not at all.
because he picks up all the pieces. Oh,
I was a bar. I ain't gonna lie.
oh,
That was a bar.
oh! He pick up all the
That
pieces.
was a
Girl. I
bar.
got you.
I got you.
See, you thought I was sliding on the wrong side of justice,
Yeah.
bro. Welcome to the squad. I got you back.
All right, bet.
No, what do you call it? Very interesting. You got an interesting mind, man. You got an interesting mind.
Likewise.
No. This was. I still think you and Costco, when it comes to sports, because
Oh, cars don't want no smoke.
and
Like, ain't he a Blazer fan too?
a Knicks fan.
Like, see, that's like he not even a thorough dude for that. Like, I like all you would fan of two teams.
Oh, we got Kings in the back.
Kings.
And then we got a Kings.
Wait,
fan.
hold up. Is that Kings as of 2023 or how long you been riding, bro?
Come to the mic. You know who you are.
How long you been a Kings fan? I gotta grill you now.
6 months.
I figured. 2017.
Kings fan since 2017
There we go.
because they were bad. I used to be a Melo fan, and he was about to retire, so I just rolled with the Kings.
All right, now I gotta fuck with you.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to. I don't know. We can do it here. Can you name me 3 players on the team?
On the Kings,
Yeah.
Oh, he's got this.
Herder, Fox, Sabonis.
All right. Can you go to 2017 and do it?
2017.
Yeah.
2017. That was before Fox got drafted. Give me a second.
No, he got drafted that year.
No, he played 2018.
Put some money on it. He got drafted in May 2017.
Don't do it, RJ.
Well, he played his rookie year is 2017, 2018.
Okay, so you mean the 16-17 season, that's when you became a fan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
I
Never
got a
mind.
fan before that draft.
Yeah,
though.
RJ.
Okay.
I was like, I can name those: Justin Jackson, Harry Giles, and
Okay. All right. He from the
De'Aaron
trenches.
Fox,
Yeah.
so-
All right. You been here then.
Damn,
Yeah.
RJ, I didn't believe in you for a second.
No, you a real hoop head if you say Justin Jackson because he was cold at Carolina.
I remember Justin Jackson.
But
he
Carolina
defeated
dudes.
those Ducks. So
Justin Jackson
I was mad.
got fucked over by Boston though.
He didn't get fucked over
He
again.
didn't get enough minutes.
As he shouldn't have been. What you mean?
he's pretty bad in the NBA.
Bro, Carolina does not produce NBA players no more.
Wow.
Step
Before this is really gonna become into a sports show, I gotta watch y'all. So, if you like what we're doing, like, comment, subscribe. I'm Cartier Bob,
I'm Tay Ford.
and this has been the latest installment of the Play No Games podcast. We out.
I'm the fact dragon.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. But shit, I think they call them groupies now.